Okay, so you can see the movie displayed at the top. Yes, when love prays, when love prays. So I just want to give you an informed opinion about this movie. I took my time and I had to look at this movie constructively. Yes, it's about 3 hours 25 minutes movie. Yes, 3 hours 25 minutes. Yes, I took my time to go through it because I don't want to just say anything I like based on what people are saying. I know it's trending. A lot of persons are talking about the movie because a Christian lady married a Muslim. So the Christendom, the Christians that are aware, they frowned at it because it's wrong for a Christian lady to marry a Muslim man. But let me say this. Personally, I will even subscribe to a Christian man. Yes, I will subscribe. Yes, that is Christian man should marry a Christian man should marry a Muslim lady. Do you know why? Because the man is the head of the home. If your marriage can win a soul for the kingdom, beautiful. And that's what the Muslims are also doing. They are marrying off Christians and they are bringing them to the kingdom. So I will discourage a Christian lady from marrying a Muslim man. Yes, I won't support it. I will discourage it. A Christian lady should not marry a Muslim man, but a Christian man can marry a Muslim lady. Why? Why am I saying what I'm saying? Now, every kingdom wants to win souls. Yes, every kingdom wants to win souls. So for the Christians, I am a Christian. So I want to win more souls. So as a Christian man, if you fall in love with a Muslim lady, go ahead and marry her because she will submit to your kingdom. She will submit to your faith. She will join your faith because a woman is expected to join the faith of the man. But what I will not support, and that is what this movie is preaching, I will not support it. That a Christian girl will marry a Muslim man. I will not support it. Because that Christian lady will lose her faith. I know there's already a known marriage like that. Our current president, that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a Muslim. And his wife is a redeemed pastor. The wife is a Christian. I know there is a marriage like that. But whether you like it or not, even though she's a pastor in redeemed, she will submit to her husband. And that's why I have an issue with that. So I won't say much on that. But back to this movie. I took my time. I spent 3 hours, 25 minutes to watch this movie so that I can give you an informed opinion. So one of the opinions I came up with is this particular movie is pushing a narrative of choosing peace over pride. They call faith pride. Yes. Pushing peace over pride. That is the narrative they are pushing. Another thing they're also pushing is unity of faith. Trying to unify faiths, different faiths, Christianity and Islam. They are trying to unify, this particular movie is trying to unify the both faiths. That is where I have the problem. But another good thing the movie did, that's why I'm not totally criticizing or condemning, I'm not totally criticizing the movie. I'm also very happy with the producer, the idea that they came up with. This particular movie is trying to foster religious tolerance, yes, and ethnic coexistence. Two different ethnic groups can actually coexist in the same place, like the Igbos and the Hausas, the Easterners and the Northerners. They can peacefully coexist. That is the message this movie is preaching, and I'm in support of it. I am 100% in support of it. So you can preach ethnic groups, yes, coexistence of ethnic groups. But when you get to that point of spirituality, please, you cannot combine those two. You cannot, yes, they can peacefully worship their God and tolerate each other. It's called religious tolerance. It can happen. No, I don't have any problem with that. They can do that. Worship your God peacefully, I worship my own. But there's a narrative this movie is pushing, and it is called one God, one world order. Maybe the producer did not do it intentionally, but that is what the movie is also pushing. One God, one world order. Trying to make Christianity and Islam to be one. How possible is that? Christianity is distinct. Christianity has an identity, which is Jesus Christ, which the Muslims can never submit to. And Islam also has an identity, which is Muhammad. And Christians can never submit to Muhammad. So you cannot bring the two faiths and make them one. And that's the marriage relationship that went on in this movie. This particular movie, showed us how a Christian lady married a Muslim man. You don't do that. You cannot bring marriage when it comes to spirituality. Two people of two different faiths cannot come together and marry. I can only allow it if a Muslim lady is marrying a Christian man. I will allow it because the woman must submit. But as a Christian, I cannot allow my Christian sister to submit to a Muslim husband. I will not, because as a Christian, we are losing a soul. I will not. I will support anything that brings more soul to the kingdom, but I will not support anything that will make my kingdom to lose souls. I won't. But the point I'm making is, you cannot bring two people of different faith and make them one, especially when they know the kingdom they belong to, and that is especially when they are both representatives of those kingdoms. In this particular movie, this Christian sister is not a serious Christian. Sorry to say, that's how I see this particular movie. She's not a serious Christian. First of all, you cannot be sleeping in a man's house as a dedicated, committed, born-again Christian. You cannot. You cannot. Secondly, if you're a serious Christian lady, somebody that is dedicated and is born again, you cannot go against your parents. This lady went against the instructions of her parents. So as far as I'm concerned, she's loosed. She's not a serious Christian. And that's why I cannot even call her a born-again Christian. And that's why she was able to succumb and submit to a Muslim man and accept to even marry him. She doesn't have the Christian culture. She just doesn't have the Christian value. But if you're a lady and you're looking at me and you're watching this video and you're a Christian lady, please, you cannot marry a Muslim man. The Bible says we shouldn't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. You don't have any business. You don't have any business. Because as a woman, you will end up with the religion of your husband. You will end up with the faith of your husband. It's not a long video. I'll try and just cut it down as fast as possible. Another thing I noticed here, this movie is trying to make it look as if it's preaching love. Now, this kind of love is not agape love. That is another thing I spotted. It's not agape love. As far as I'm concerned, it's erotic. It's filial. It's not agape love. The woman is just in love. And not, when I mean in love, it's not agape love. She's just emotionally entangled with a Muslim man. And they kept saying, let's choose love over pride. Okay, so let's move on. A lot of persons are criticizing the actors in this movie. Yes. Especially Patience Ozoko. She's a Christian woman. I respect her so much. Personally, I feel she picked up the script because she saw unity. The movie is speaking about unity, telling us about unity of trying to unify the different ethnic groups. The Igbos and the Hausas. I feel that that's the angle she looked at it, and also that peaceful coexistence of different faiths, different religion. She looked at it in that angle. I don't want to think she really discerned it properly, that it has to do with one God, one world order. She didn't discern it properly, but I would not fault her because Mama G, which is Patience Ozoko, she kept calling the name of Jesus. I believe that's why she picked up the script. Because if they had told her not to mention Jesus in this movie, she wouldn't have done that. the Christianity was elaborate. Though she was a bit problematic, Christians are not problematic. That's another thing the movie portrayed that I didn't like. Christians are not problematic. They made Mama G look so problematic. So to me, making Mama G problematic is just to make it entertaining. But that is not how Christians are. In fact, when it comes about when you talk about being problematic, it has to be the Muslims, because they are the ones doing all the violence and all the killings. Christians don't go about killing Muslims. Rather, it's the Muslims that are killing Christians. So, on that premise, if you look at it in that direction, Christianity is a more peaceful religion than Islam. Yes, Christianity, I can say that categorically. Christianity is a more peaceful religion than Islamic religion. Yes. And this movie tried to make it look, yes, there's a way the writer, the producer portrayed this movie. He made it look as if the Muslims are more peaceful than the Christians. But that is not what it is in reality. If you come to Nigeria, those of you watching outside this country, if you come to Nigeria, you will observe that the Christian faith is more peaceful than the Muslim faith. We don't believe in violence. But if you go to the north, they kill Christians anyhow they like because they believe in violence. And most of them, they use Islam to do what they are doing. Okay, but that's that. I will not say much on that. But on that premise, I don't like the way the story was written, and I fault the writer and the producer of the film on that premise. But beautiful work, religious tolerance, beautiful work, coexistence of different ethnic groups, beautiful work. The writer and the producer, they put in the work, the actors, beautiful film. I will even encourage you guys to go and watch that film, because they have put in the money, they have put in the work. But please and please, the only area I'm criticizing, I'm not happy with, is the marriage area. A beautiful movie that anybody, I will recommend to anybody to go and watch. A beautiful movie. Yes, I'm very impressed with the movie. I'm very impressed with the producer. Even the actors, both Uche Montana, Patience Ozoko, I'm very impressed with them. They are Christians, fine. I'm impressed with them. Yes, they were part of this movie. Beautiful. It's not their fault that they were not discerning enough. Yes. Because for you to discern this one God, one word order, you must have a very sensitive spiritual antenna. Yes, your spiritual antenna must be very sensitive for you to pick the motive of this movie. But truly, if you look at it carefully, this is not even the motive. This is just something that, came up while the movie was going on. Yes, it's not really the motive of the producer. Making this film, to preach one God, one word order, I know is not the motive of the producer. But that is what at the end it portrayed. And that's why I'm not faulting the producer. I'm not faulting the actors. So kudos to the actors, kudos to the producers. But any young person watching this should be properly guided. Yes, should be properly guided. You can't put Jesus and Muhammad in one box. Some people will say, even when I went for youth service, you will hear, okay, let's pray, but let's use the word, let's use God. Nobody should mention Jesus Christ. Nobody should mention Muhammad. Let's just use God. No, it won't work. It will not work. Don't try to unify Christianity and Islam. It will not work. Allow the Christians to pray their prayer. Allow the Muslims to pray their prayer. Yes. Allow these are two distinct religions. Allow them. You cannot unify them. You cannot put them together. You cannot make them look like an alloy. Yes, you cannot put the two different metals together. It's not possible. So this is what this movie was trying to do. Force us to, uphold love. The love that is binding these two different, people from two different religions. They are trying to make us believe in that love. And give us this impression that their religion does not matter. Since they are in love, they can stay together and be married and, have a beautiful family. At the end of the day, they even disobey their parents and all that. So love should not be a loner. That's another point I brought out from this movie. Spiritual compatibility is very, very important. I've talked about that. Christian men can marry a Muslim woman. Yes, a Christian man can marry a Muslim woman. Beautiful. But a Christian woman should not marry a Muslim man. Okay, I've also talked about that. Okay, moving forward, I also wrote some other points. I said the narrative is choosing peace over pride. Different faiths can coexist, different ethnic groups can coexist peacefully, but when it comes to ethnic groups, I can allow them to marry. Yes, I can support the marriage of an Igbo girl and a Hausa, lady, but I will not support the marriage of a Christian lady and a Muslim man. But what if there is a Christian? That's an Igbo Christian and a Hausa Christian. Will I support it? Yes, I will. If they are both Christians but different ethnic groups, you can bring them together. They have one faith but different ethnic groups. You can bring them together. They can marry. What of a Muslim Easterner? That's an Igbo lady that is a Muslim and a Hausa man that is a Muslim. So you can bring them together. Muslim, but different ethnic groups. Christian, but different ethnic groups. They can marry. But don't tell me a Muslim and a Christian can come together and marry. It will not work because one person must submit to the other. One person must submit to the other, and that's why it will not work. Okay, so finally, let me just say this. The unification of Christianity and Islam is different from the religious tolerance. Yes, the movie is preaching religious tolerance, which is beautiful, but we shouldn't preach unification of, Christianity and Islam. Yes, let's not preach unification of Christianity and Islam because they cannot work together as one, but they can live together peacefully. They can do their religious activities peacefully, but they cannot be put inside one box. Okay, Jesus and Muhammad cannot be unified. They are distinct. Okay, that's that. Raising children Islamic way, because I heard a man say it. He wants his child, because the Christian lady gave birth to a son, and the Muslim man kept saying he wants his son to be raised the Islamic way. I had to write it down. So as a Christian lady, when you marry a Muslim man, it is your generation you're playing with. Your offsprings, your children will be raised in the Islamic way. Yes, they will be raised they will follow the religion of their father. So is that what you want to put yourself into? No. Your children should be raised in the Christian faith. Your children should be raised in the Christendom and not in the Islamic way. Please and please. So for that reason alone, a Christian lady should not even try. She should not try it. A Christian lady should not try it because of the future, the spiritual destiny of our children. Okay? So the peace narrative is okay. I support it. Religious tolerance is preached, which is positive. So this is one of the positives I picked from the movie. Because some persons make religion, the Christianity look as if we are fighting, or maybe Islamic religion, make it look as if it's war. It's not supposed to be war. We are not fighting. As a Christian, you cannot be casting and binding a Muslim around you. No, you shouldn't do that. Let's coexist peacefully. Do your religion peacefully. Susu in that movie, that's the mother of the girl, kept, obstructing the prayers of the Muslim. If the Muslims are praying, allow them to pray. You go and pray their own. You don't need to come and fight them. You don't need to come and disturb them. Because when you do that in the north as a Christian, you're where maybe Muslims are and they are praying and you want to go and disturb them, it will be a serious problem. You people will start having issues. If you're staying somewhere and there's a Muslim in that same area, you pray your prayer peacefully and quietly without disturbing others. Very important. But if you carry speaker and be disturbing people that are not Christians and you carry speakers and they are Muslims, and you put it, you just put the speaker before their residential areas, and you put speakers, you want to disturb them with your Christianity. That approach will only bring violence, will only bring problem. If you disturb people with your religion, there's a subtle way of doing it. Yes, you can preach to them, you can talk to them quietly. You don't need to go and disturb them. You don't need to use your religion to make another person feel uncomfortable. The Bible does not teach that. The Bible does not preach that. So it's very, very important we coexist peacefully. Okay? I think that's all I have to say about this movie. So, beautiful. I must commend the producer and the actors. Well done. But next time, let me say this for actors, people that are acting movies, please be discerning enough. Look at your script carefully. Always know that every script is representing a kingdom. Every script is pushing an agenda. So you shouldn't be an instrument that the devil will use to push his own agenda. Even the producer, I know that's not his intention. Yes, I know he just have peace in mind. He wants people to coexist peacefully, the producer of this movie. So I cannot fault him. But even at that, when we are writing stories, we should be careful so that we don't push a particular narrative that is anti or anti our faith, that is against our faith. Let's not do that. Let's be careful and make sure that everything we do, every gift we have, every platform we have, they are only instruments that either the devil will use or God will use. Thank you so much for being part of today's episode of the Realm of Robotics Films. Look out for other episodes. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like. And see you on the next.